For the longest time, this entire space has talked about Ethereum killers, right? We've been talking about how Ethereum will be dethroned, same way that everyone talks about how, there will be a project that does flip Bitcoin at some point in time and becomes the number one project. And, again, like I said, we've been hearing about these things for quite some time. Now, up until about 2021, we heard Ethereum killer, Ethereum killer, Ethereum killer, and then Hedera started to grow significantly. And I feel like that's when that narrative started to become red hot, and people did start to look into some of these layer ones like Hedera, and they realized this could become a reality very fast. Well, in this video, we have a lot to talk about with this because I do believe that Hedera does have the power, the size now, especially with how big the ecosystem has become, to ultimately, usurp a lot of dominance from Ethereum and maybe at some point in time become bigger than Ethereum. So with that being said, welcome to the channel, everyone. My name is Nick. For those that are new to the channel, hopefully by the end of this video, you do become a subscriber. So let's take a quick look at this, right? Right now, HBAR is trading at about a fully diluted value of almost $17 billion versus Ethereum, which is trading at a fully diluted value of almost $400 billion. That is a very significant difference. And I say this not to say that, oh, well, HBAR is going to catch up to Ethereum this cycle. No, I'm just saying that as we look at Hedera and as we look at Ethereum, in terms of market valuation, yes, Hedera is much more undervalued than Ethereum. We're just going off of financials now. But the tech side, Hedera's tech is far more superior than Ethereum's. We know this is true. You don't even have to take it from me. In this video, I will prove it to you. But let's start off with the Ethereum killer narrative, right? Because this narrative has cooled off. In fact, not a lot of people actually say, oh, this is an Ethereum killer. If we actually go back in time, Ethereum killer started to really pick up pace back in 2020. Okay? And then after that, into 2021 is when it became red hot. Everyone was talking about, oh, this is an Ethereum killer. That's an Ethereum killer. Today, it's actually not talked about much at all either. And I think that that's mainly because people have really kind of came to the idea that, all right, well, this space is going to be a multi-chain future. So it's not going to kill it. But I do think the way that I view this is that Ethereum at some point in time will cease to remain the number 2 project, and it will just slowly but surely drop down the list. And this goes back to the whole tech side of things. Now, what's crazy about this is, if we actually look at a few things, number one, a lot of Ethereum supporters are actually now jumping ship. We have here, yes, I have abandoned Ethereum despite supporting it in the past. Now, the big complaint here was the fact that, newcomers to the space can't afford the chain. Like, nobody that's jumping into crypto today is going to be able to afford to use Ethereum. In fact, they don't want to use Ethereum. Now, he's quoting, by the way, this is an individual that has 160,000 followers. He's quoting an individual that has over 177,000 followers, almost 178K. And we have, I am no longer a .eth. Perhaps someday those in leadership roles will realign with the community, but for now, I'm out. Deep down, I truly hope Ethereum succeeds. Good luck. And again, this was not just the only individual that was doing this with Mike. No, we saw a completely big shift around the Ethereum, community. Now, again, does this mean that Ethereum is dead, that it's finished? No, Ethereum is going to perform this cycle. It doesn't really matter about, what's happening here. It's just the fact that people are now realizing how inefficient Ethereum actually is. A big issue is obviously the leadership side of things too, but the tech side is horrible. We know it's horrible. Listen, I've used Ethereum for well over 5-6 years now, and it feels like, 2022 was peak in terms of just how inefficient Ethereum was, which we'll get into that here in a second as well. But trying to buy and sell things on Uniswap using Ethereum, I mean, gas fees constantly fail transactions where they take your gas fees anyway, so you have to retry and then pay even more gas fees. And then at like peak times where the network was being utilized, the fees were ridiculous. I mean, nobody wants to deal with that. Nobody wants to deal with that. Now just imagine enterprises dealing with that. They want cheaper transactions. They don't want to, pay gas fees. They don't want, and by the way, it's not predictable gas fees, it's unpredictable gas fees. Like, sure, there's, a thing where it says, hey, you can expect to pay this much, but at times where like it's, massively being utilized, the network, you could pay, 2-3 times that amount, which is crazy. Now, everyone has been saying, well, the next big thing is Solana. A lot of people in the comments of these were saying like Solana. Well, guess what? Let's go all the way back to April of 2022 when Solana went down. The entire Solana network is crashed and down right now. Usually it's just speed throttled. Let me repeat, the entire network is completely offline. This was the first of many crashes of Solana. This was back in April of 2022. Over here, this is February 6th. 2024, breaking, Solana blockchain is currently down. This is when the meme coins of 2024 started to really pick up. Then more, recently, with the launch of, Trump coin, Solana blockchain is still down because of 3 million transactions. Now, a lot of people are talking about, the XRP ledger here, but, there's so many different chains that are far more efficient than Solana. Hedera is one of them. Over here, Solana's network is literally unusable right now. What happened to all the talk about million TPS and global adoption? Can't even send a simple transaction without it failing 100 times. I'm done. And again, this is this is the problem with even Ethereum. Now, I did make a post. I said, while 0 newcomers can afford the chain, and I quoted Mike using his quote. And I said, looks like long-term ETH supporters are finally realizing what I have been saying for a while. It's only a matter of time until Ethereum loses the number 2 position in the space. Dominance will be usurped, and eventually even the DeFi TVL will come to other chains. Back in 2022, and if you guys were around in 2022, then you know that this is 100% accurate. This is facts. When Bored Ape Yacht Club released other side NFTs, gas fees on Ethereum reached over $3,000. That means that if you were to send even a few dollars to a friend, you were paying thousands in fees. It didn't even have to be, you could have sent $10 and paid a $3,000 gas fee. Yeah, that's the future of finance, right? This is why I've always said that Ethereum will not be the future of finance. It's not a viable chain for scalable financial use cases, and it lacks in almost every area compared to many layer ones. Also, outside of supporters ditching Ethereum, many projects and developers have moved on to popular networks like Hedera because of the same issues. Now, talking about this, yes, a lot of projects actually moved over to Hedera. But here we also have another great take on this, and this goes all the way back to October. Now, this was regarding the leaders at the time, right? This is when they started to realize that a lot of the Ethereum leaders from the team, like the Ethereum Foundation, were starting to just completely go off of what they wanted to see around Ethereum and completely ignore the community. We have unpopular take, but everyone should watch the Blackberry documentary. While I am a fan of what Ethereum has built and pioneered, and I believe this space should be grateful for that, the current state of Ethereum reminds me of BlackBerry downfall after a spectacular rise and success. Another narrative violation, hence why I wouldn't fade Ethereum. Ethereum has generated over $2 billion in revenue this year through fees, which again is why I said like Ethereum will perform very well. The fees on Ethereum are insane. It's just that simple. Patterns of power users leaving Ethereum due to its unusable and unsustainable state. Here you guys have those 2 users. Adding my long form thoughts on Ethereum from October last year, Ethereum is a juggernaut with $50 billion in total value, having paved the way for blockchain-based web and mobile applications we hadn't seen before, including global scale dollar payments nearly at par with Visa at 10 trillion in annual volume. Similarly, Ethereum has generated over 2 billion in revenue this year through fees, though historically lower than the year compared to previous bull markets. more than any other chain, including layer 2s with Tron and Bitcoin following at 1.5 and 0.8 billion respectively. But the problem is because of the fees though, right? That's the only reason why the revenue is so high. However, Ethereum has experienced slower growth than other competing smart contract platforms. It's up 60% in terms of TVL year to date versus 300% for Solana. Additionally, Solana's daily active addresses are roughly 17 times that of Ethereum. But again, we're looking at, Ethereum and Solana. We're comparing Solana to Ethereum. However, these are two very inefficient, and I mean, if you listen, just experience a transaction on both of them. Even do like 5-10 transactions. See how horrible the experience actually is. You'll see it. Now, building upon this, let's actually talk about the migrations that have been happening. Number one, we have MTech, right? Here we have an interview with Tony Edward with Carmel Cadet from MTech. This is the founder and CEO of MTech. And we have, after trialing Hyperledger Fabric, Ethereum, and Stellar, MTech landed on using Hedera for CBDC technology. They also found using a public blockchain was better than a private. Check this out.
And you mentioned some of the layer 1 protocols. Are you able to tell us which blockchains you have worked with and are currently partnered with?
Sure. I mean, coming from IBM, of course, studied with Hyperledger Fabric, had a good appreciation for how that could work into some enterprise use cases. But we also saw some limitations around financial services and tokenization of assets when it comes to Hyperledger. Great protocol for some use cases, but we believe that long term, the retail aspect of cash as a liquidity asset, as a very liquid asset, would really take hold and be better used on a public ledger, public network, with EVM compatibility that can be interoperable with other assets, just like cash is today. So if you walk up to someone and say, top up my Bitcoin wallet, and they take your cash and they send you Bitcoin from their wallet, that nature of it, I think, will continue to happen. And we wanted to make sure that we build with that in mind. So we ended up, after really taking some time looking at Hyperledger Fabric, Ethereum, Stellar, each have their pros and cons. We landed with Hedera HashGraph for us. So not a typical blockchain protocol, if you will, which has also its benefits on scalability. We wanted to have EVM compatibility for smart contracts. Imagine central banks needing to tap into the benefits of not wasting money for the government, for example, or government payments. Imagine smart contracts, making sure that a wallet is still valid before disbursing funds, or making certain disbursements for special programs. So we knew smart contracts were going to be a component of it. So we really took some time to research, and we really like working with Hedera HashGraph. They've been a great partner, but definitely a great protocol. And of course, the energy, the fact that we work in emerging market, the energy consumption and the distribution nature of the running of the network is something that we knew that we needed to obfuscate. It was too much to ask governments and institutions to not only adopt a new technology, but also having to figure out how to manage nodes. I saw that very painful process in the early days. It literally kills so many blockchain projects.
So this, again, is just one example, right? We have so many. For an example, Diamond Standard migrated from Ethereum to Hedera for RWA tokenization. Then we also had Mint migrates from Ethereum to Hedera and announces their founders NFT collection back in, 2023. I have been talking about this for a while. Okay, back in April, actually, of 2024, I said, Hedera won't be as big as Ethereum. It will be bigger, because I do believe it will. From 2021 up to just recently, projects have been fleeing Ethereum for cheaper chains. Hedera has been one of them. Polygon has also been seeing this as well. And I do think that Solana will also notice this. you're going to have a lot of projects starting to migrate, not just to, Hedera, but also to other networks. Slowly but surely, it's going to happen, right? I even said here, like, slowly, then all at once. Because, you just look at what enterprises want. Enterprises don't want, to have a network go down on them when they have crucial, when they have crucial information that's being transacted, or they have, massive clients that are utilizing their network or their, product that they launch on these networks. They don't want the network to go down. They don't want, absurd gas fees. They don't want slow transaction times. They want predictable gas fees that they know that they're going to pay on every single transaction. They want those transactions to be settled immediately. They want it to be extremely efficient. And you're not seeing that on Ethereum. You're not seeing that on Bitcoin. You're not seeing that on Solana. Some of these popular layer ones, yeah, you have Hedera, you have the XRP Ledger, you have these, great projects, these great networks that you could transact on. But I find it crazy that when we look at this space right now, Ethereum still has over $400 billion in market cap, which, like I said, if you look at TVL, if you look at DeFi and stuff like that, it makes sense, sure. But the issue is that, once we do start to see utility becoming a big focus and you actually start to see enterprise grade applications launching, you're going to see some of these networks really shock a lot of people. And I do think that Hedera is going to be a big shocker, because not a lot of people are paying attention to the adoption happening on Hedera. So with that being said, I hope that you guys enjoyed this video. If you guys definitely have a like, subscribe, turn notifications on because more free content. You guys are more than welcome to follow me on Twitter and join the free Discord in the description below. And with that being said, guys, it's been Nick. Thanks for watching. Peace out.